Hello, everyone, and welcome to LFC Transfer Room. And what a 24 hours it has been. Romeo Lavia, Moises Caicedo. The battle is on between Liverpool and Chelsea. The two opponents on Premier League Super Sunday go against each other in the transfer room just before their game on Sunday. Chelsea want Caicedo by Sunday. Can Liverpool sneak in to get him? I'm going to talk to the boys tonight to see what they think, see what their minds on about that FSG. Obviously, FSG has come out. Whether we don't want to talk about it or not, it has come up at some point. Caicedo, Lavia. We're going to talk about a little bit about Curtis Jones as well. Estupinan and I think it was. Yeah, that's about it. I think today, but it's mainly around Caicedo and Lavia. They're the two major transfer players that have been linked with Liverpool today and Chelsea. Rigo, how are you, my friend? I do the podcast for you. It's the first time I've been on proper YouTube stream with you for a while.
Yeah, we haven't streamed in a minute, but of course we're on the podcast together to make sure to like and subscribe that as well. It comes out video and Spotify and any podcast apps as well. But enough of the plug. As far as how I'm doing, much better than last night. Hopefully this isn't all just smoke, and we do have some fire with regards to a possible bid for Moises Caicedo. That would just be absolutely delightful. Pipping Chelsea to this signing and bringing in the guy that's more qualified and more ready-made to slot right into our midfield. I'm also half Ecuadorian, so my bias plays out as well. I would definitely love Moises on the team to go along with my Spaniards and Colombians also. But we went from FSG out to today possibly lauding their praises if they're able to sign Moises and possibly a center back. But I'm also prepared to be super disappointed. So let's see how it shakes out. How's everyone else doing?
Regarding the FSG out thing, Rigo, do not put that on the back burner just yet. Harmony came in later than Liverpool coming in for Moises Caicedo. How are you, my friend? How are you?
Yep, just representing the team and the board, what I'm saying, coming in late and everything, wasting time for a little while, it's just all part of the Liverpool vibe right now. I'm doing all right. I'm smiling, but really inside I'm upset. But, hopefully tonight, hopefully tonight we go home, we go to bed smiling with a new player that essentially that's going to be better than the player that we were going to get. And, so, yes, Stephen, I see you. And so I should be right. I'll be all right. We'll see.
Dan, how about you, mate? How are you doing? This could be a funny stream. This one, we could have a live transfer going in anytime soon. Dan, how are you, mate?
Oh, I'm good. I built a desk for the missus. I rearranged my workspace over here as well. Then I woke up this morning to the idea that Liverpool put in a bid. It seems like Liverpool and Brighton are just saying F you to Southampton and Chelsea. And I'm just here for it. I'm here for the drama. I'm here for the idea that they may actually sign probably the best defensive mid that is on the market this summer.
It basically is that meme, innit? That guy just sat there sleeping. He wakes up clapping. That's what Liverpool are right now. They've been asleep all transfer window, and since the McAllister deal and Soboslai deal, and all of a sudden, like that, out of nowhere, for some reason, we're going for Caicedo. I know we've been trying to get Lavia for quite a while, but
better late than never. Better late than never.
He's saying better late than never. It still might not be never. So
true.
It's so hard. Well, we're gonna go through a few small stories beforehand, before the big one towards the end, because in case announcement might happen, Here We Go might come out at some point. So we're going to keep save the best for the last, as it were, and the chat will want to know anyway as soon as we get alive. So we're going to start. Harmony, we're going to start with you with about Chris Palace wanting Curtis Jones, which is that came from nowhere, to be honest. The time went to go for a loan or a permanent deal, but according to court offside, that he may want to take the move just because of a regular starting spot. Do you see anything in that at all?
No. He's a Liverpool boy throughout, and a proper Scouser. I don't see him leaving Liverpool because I feel like he has a future with Liverpool, especially from the evidence of what we've seen last season for the last 10 games, how spectacular he was. He kind of ironed out the issues that many Liverpool fans had with him and Klopp had with him, holding on the ball for too long. His work rate wasn't great, and he ironed that out in the last 10 games. And in the Euros, he played really well as well for the under-21s. Came back pre-season, performed all right, even though he wasn't playing the position that he's normally played in. So I don't see him leaving. I feel like he's one for the future. I feel like he definitely has a spot in that team. And I feel like Liverpool will be stupid to let him go right now, especially the fact that we need midfielders, especially the fact that we are kind of right now in the war with Chelsea to get that midfielder in. To let someone like him go, who can come in and do a great job for us for the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and Europa, and chipping for the Premier League here and there. I think it would be really stupid for Liverpool to do that, and I don't think they're going to do that in the first place, anyways. And so yeah, I don't see that happening. But Crystal Palace can dream, but he's staying with us.
I mean, like you said, he's a born and bred Scouser. To me, it makes no sense that this even move is even a possibility. Moose, I'm going to hold you to that, mate. I'm going to hold you to that, whatever. We'll try and get you on stream. If you do need to eat your hat, please do it live on stream. We'll get, you might become famous and might become viral. Rigo, do you see anything in it at all? Harmon says no. Do you think it's a bit too late to loan him out as well? This could have been done like 2 years ago with a loan out.
To me, it's a total non-starter. He's beginning to hit his stride as a Liverpool player. At this point, Klopp is able to count on him in multiple positions. We even saw him try it out as the 6 to so success. He wasn't that great, but wasn't awful, to be quite honest either. I think big things are yet to come for Curtis. The confidence is there. Big thing last year was his health. He seems healthy. He seems strong. And with the departures in midfield, and not to mention our own homegrown count, it would be shooting ourselves in the foot to let him go. If a Romeo Lavia is being valued at around £50 million, Curtis Jones has to be right up there as well. It'd be real silly to let him go unless it's for just an astronomical fee, at least as far as his valuation is concerned.
Dan, do you reiterate what has been said already?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly with what Harmony and Rigo have said. I think that they've spent so much time developing Curtis Jones from this, left wing attacking forward into this very sensible all-around midfield player that there's no reason they would ever sell him to Southampton. Oh, sorry, Southampton. Oh, Crystal Palace. And definitely not Southampton because the championship. But the Palace, unless you're looking at getting 90 to 100 million pounds for him. Because was that really what you were gonna say?
The only way I would see it happen, let's say we let go of Curtis, is if we're getting Eze back, if we're getting Olise back, if we're getting Joachim Anderson back, and then at that point, all right.
So we take three of the best players. Yeah, we take three of the best players.
All right then. Would you take Curtis Jones going out on loan if we got Elise in return?
No, because that's too many attacking mids. Like if you're doing that, we're just going all vibes FC. If you're doing that,
that boy is special, man.
Listen, I don't know, man. I'm out to let Curtis go.
We've got two here that are thinking differently, Dan. Two here
for a loan. Okay, I might make that swap, but I wouldn't let Curtis go.
I just don't think it makes sense for either Liverpool or Palace because Palace need to find someone to score goals, and Liverpool don't need 30 attacking mids. Otherwise, we're just going to be Arsenal from 2011 to 2015, just played nothing but attacking mids.
It depends what you see Curtis Jones as well.
Well, yeah, but I think he's very much just a natural CM. You can look at his progression, how they've kind of made him much more sensible, 1-2 touch passes. He dribbles, he takes on, he shows the ball well. I mean, he's a great midfielder, great young midfielder. We saw him in the 6. So they've kind of made him much more responsible as a player, positionally, tactically as well, even though he's not a 6 as we would want yet, like Kaisedo and Lavia is. But if you're going to spend this much time developing him, there's no reason to sell him on, and especially not for attacking players. We don't need more attacking players.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree.
Go on,
just a tiny bit because
how many got Harmony got excited when I said that, but when I was
Yeah,
giving that up, you got excited there. You got some water next to you there, Harmony, mate.
honestly, I got a bit excited. I was thinking, oh, that's a bit of a spicy question. I might have to take back everything I just said.
Well, no
honestly,
way is that happening anyway.
Yeah, it's
I
not
mean,
happening.
it's not happening at all. And worst case scenario, my goal is that he's off to Manchester City as a Mahrez replacement, and that'll just more salt into the wound, along with the Josko Guardiola heading over there. But
they're trying to get Paqueta, Lucas Paqueta right now, which is really, really weird for City to go out and try to buy Lucas Paqueta.
Yeah, that's a strange one.
Because I think they're trying to get him. Well, it's strange.
Into Man City stream.
Well, just to finish the thought, I think it's strange because he makes sense as Bernardo Silva replacement, but Bernardo Silva's not going anywhere. Like, they're going to give him a new contract. So that's why it doesn't make sense to me, because you're just signing another Bernardo Silva player, unless they're going to play Silva on the wing and Paqueta in midfield.
I think very interchangeable pieces. Paqueta could play even as a false nine in certain aspects.
True.
So,
True.
Again, with Pep, he's obviously going for almost positionless up the field, with the exception of Haaland playing up the middle. But anywho, let's focus on us for the time.
Jen gave a sub chat just before, guys. Jen did, and she also said that smash those likes. Jen, we said your sub chats were going to go to something good. We did get it across to Anfield. This is why our mid going into Kaisedo is now a possibility. You have done that over the years. Thank you very much. And if we do get Kaisedo over the line, I want everyone to give a glass up for Jen for giving the money across to John Henry himself. We didn't need Klarna this time. We needed Jen. Jen is now our Klarna. Thank you, Jen, and appreciate everyone that's joining in. Nearly 200 people watching. Please leave a like and subscribe and get your notification bell on, because we are live every single night, and we'll be live as soon as breaking news happens and podcasts and much, much more. The more likes we get, the more subscribers we get, the more and better content you get. Let's move on then, Dan. Another player that Liverpool have been linked with, we've got McAllister, we're looking at Caicedo, but there's another Brighton player we're looking at, and that's Pervis Estupinan. By Football Transfer said that we are considering a move for him. Is that anything to that, do you think, or is that another just maybe his agent throwing it out possibly?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's something in that, but because Tsimikas is probably going to leave, and we know Robertson's getting on in age, and Estupinan can play both as an attacking left wing back and also a defensive wing back as well, and he pretty much has everything that we wanted when we bought Robertson a couple of years ago. The real question is just what price is Brighton looking for. It really just going to come down to what are they offering, because I remember when Lemty, how much were they going to sell Lemty back to Chelsea for? 80 million, 60, 70 million, something like that.
You just have to look at Cucurella, and I think Pervis is way better than Cucurella. So
absolutely, and he has much more assets that we look for, because Cucurella. The thing about Cucurella that was very interesting is he was left center back, left wing back, but he doesn't really have that physicality in that Chelsea team to play isolated. But I feel like Estupinan would be a really, really good Robertson or Tsimikas replacement long term.
Yeah.
How did you agree with that?
That rumor kind of flies against what our setup tactically has been, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, if we're
that's why for me it makes no sense. Yeah.
If we're concerned about Andy Robertson playing that left center back position when we're progressing up the field, Pervis loves going up that sideline as well, and loves dribbling and carrying up the pitch. So unless we're gonna revert back to a 4-3-3 setup, I'm not sure how that fit makes sense.
For me personally, how I'm looking at it, I see both sides of it, of why we want to get him, in terms of what Dan just said, how Andy Robertson is going to be getting up in age. He might be going down, and obviously Tsimikas leaving the club, he will be a great replacement for them. And I feel like he's kind of like I don't know why, but when I watch him, it kind of reminds me of the final Klein, but just better crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like someone like that I feel like he can do the job in the centre back role, because defensively he is solid. even though he likes to bomb on, even though he likes to get forward and, putting the crosses in, but defensively he's a solid player and you can rely on him to, to play that position. But at the same time, looking at it in the way Klopp wants to play in the system, I don't see how he fits in. If we're gonna spend that much money on him, then I'd rather us spend that money on an Inacio to bring him in to actually play the system that Klopp wants to play, rather than bringing another left back that's not gonna really fit the system. Unless Klopp has another formation that he's trying to play, so he wants that player to be in there, so he can have different varieties and mix and match the formation for different games and different opponents. Then that would make sense. But in terms of how, just looking at this season, I feel like we don't really need him. If we're saying this next season, then I can see that making sense. Next season, that can be something that we can look into, or sometime in January we can look into that. Just depending on how we get on with this formation and with the system. If Klopp needs to invert back to the 4-3-3, he will be someone that I will be more than happy enough for us to go and get. But for now, I don't see it happening. But I can understand both sides of the arguments for why we will go through.
Yeah, and I think right now this new formation we're using, the 3-box-3, is mostly just going to be used against the bottom 10 teams, because that's, if you look at the games we've played, that's really what it's designed to do, is to score goals. I don't think we're going to be playing this 3-box-3 against, Chelsea opening day or even Man City at home. We're going to probably play mix and match like 2 or 3 shapes based on the 4-3-3, something closer to a 4-2-3-1, which is very narrow, or even closer to a 4-4-2 at times, with Nunez as well. I think Klopp's going to be very flexible regardless of who we buy, if it's Caicedo, if it's Lavia, even if it's Ignacio. We're going to be very, very fluid in our formation for those really top 4 to top 6 teams, and then we're going to use the 3-box-3 against all the teams from 10 below. And I think that's the idea. And I think Estupinan makes sense if you're long-term thinking about replacing both Robertson and Tsimikas going forward, because Robertson's going to be 30, Tsimikas is 27, I think, going to be 28. I roughly remember. So you need to have a replacement there long-term, because I don't think they're going to stick with this 3-box-3 forever. I think it just may be a formation they use for the next 12 to 18 months for the bottom 10 teams.
What do you think?
We just got some bit of news about Sasha Tavolieri has said that Lavia does want Liverpool, and he's a Belgian journalist, so he's he's like tier 1 over in Belgium, so that could be a move that could be happening quite soon. How we go on then, mate?
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you, what do you think of this, obviously, transfer? Would you feel like it'll be a good one for us, or do you feel like
I think it'd be a good one if we didn't need anything else, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think needing Inacio, it's just not the transfer to be made right now. Needing Inacio, needing a CDM, needing a CM needs to be done, and maybe focus on right back, sort of right centre back next year.
Yeah.
Right now, to me, I think it's a non-starter. I won't really look too much into it, but now we've got 254 people in. I think quite a lot of people are expecting a here we go at some point tonight. I think.
Yeah.
So let's hope we can get one. Rigo, let's move on to a Romeo Lavia. As I've just said, Sasha, is it Tavolieri or something like that? Belgian journalist, tier 1, has said Lavia wants Liverpool. Chelsea did bid 48 million, contra Romano. Is it going to be Lavia, here we go, in the next 24 hours? Really?
I think now the first domino to fall is going to be Caicedo, and whoever doesn't get Caicedo will then move on to Lavia. Plenty going around on the Twitter sphere, or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I don't care. That we and even Maddie on our team as well floated the theory that we were waiting for the Mbappe domino to fall, and since he's no longer supposedly on the move, Real Madrid don't need to recoup any transfer fees, and therefore Tchouameni is 100% off the table, and now that's why we're kind of throwing our hat into the ring for Caicedo now, which hopefully is the case, and now we can, send an actual solid offer. I don't think we're gonna play around with Brighton. We've done enough business with them in the past. We have enough of our own former players there as well, and enough respect for them as an organization. And Tony Bloom is not going to get ripped off, period. So you better come correct, or he's just gonna shut the door on you, basically. So I think we're gonna table if the rumors are true and Fabrizio, along with others, are saying the same, that we are tabling a bid. I think it'll be close to that 100 million pound valuation, and at that point, it's just, well, what will the player decide? So hopefully in previous interviews with Moises' agent, they're open to moving to anyone. He just wants to go to a big club and play important football. So I think hopefully we're right there and are able to seal the deal. As far as with Romeo, I think perhaps that's why it's just taken so long, and we've incrementally added £5 here and there to the transfer bid just to be able to play it out and see how this all shakes out. Let's see how smart it is at the end, just because of the simple fact we're so close to the season tipping off already. It's coming on Sunday, and it leaves Klopp with short time to get these guys trained.
Dan, as Scratch just said there, Southampton want 50 million, and Liverpool are weighing up an offer, but are they going to finally get this one done? I know this guy said on the cards, but thinking about Romeo Lavia just alone, is this only a matter of time, or is Liverpool going to actually pay the money, or is that it? They're going to walk away now?
I just think it really comes down to what Caicedo decides to do at Brighton, because I don't think Liverpool go to Brighton and talk to them about putting in a bid for Caicedo, preparing this massive bid, if they did not hear from Caicedo's representatives or from Brighton. It's like, hey, we want Caicedo wants to go, we want to get rid of him. Well, not get rid of him, but we want to sell his player. Would you be willing to work out a deal? And I think with Liverpool and the Lavia, it just comes down to two things as well. There is probably a world where Liverpool signed both Lavia and Caicedo, but both deals have to make sense to Liverpool. This whole thing with the £50 million thing is more about what Liverpool have valued Lavia as. Now, obviously, we can sit here and talk about £4 or £5 million like it's nothing, but obviously it's not nothing to Liverpool. And obviously, if I had £4 million in my life, I would not want to spend it either way. But it really comes down to what happens there as well. If Liverpool put in a final bid, so Southampton rejected the £48 million bid from Chelsea, meaning they really, really want that $50 million, which is weird because Southampton have negotiated with every other team but Liverpool and Chelsea, which is just mad to some degree. That if Liverpool to say, okay, F this, we're not going to spend 50, we'll go get Caicedo and we'll move on with our lives. I think that's the reality. But if Southampton say, okay, we'll give it to him for $48.5 million, then I think there is a world where Liverpool get both Caicedo and Lavia, but it's a deal that has to make sense for both Liverpool, Brighton, Southampton, and Caicedo and Lavia.
Matty, thank you for the donation. This is Optics by SSG. They will bid higher than Chelsea, but way off Brighton's valuation. So they say to the gullible fans, look, we were in for him. We tried, as it were. I'm going to get to that towards the end, Matty. I've got a lot to say on that, and yeah, you may get another Damon rant tonight. Possibly. I'm okay. I'm all right now. I'm quite positive. 343 people watching the live. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn your notification bells on. Harmony. I'm going to end with you. Instead of just thinking about just Lavia as one player, Lavia and Caicedo, is there a chance we get both?
In a dream world, yes. If we had a ownership that was ambitious, if they really cared for the club and they really wanted to see Jurgen Klopp succeed, then yes, because Caicedo can play that pivot role. He can play the 8 as well. So you can do whatever you want with that type of midfielder. And you might not even need to play that whole inverted role with Trent if we bring Caicedo in and Lavia, because what that does gives you two options. You can play the inverted role with Trent, or you don't have to. And what that does is just gives us so much more options going up front and so much more creativity in that midfield and so much security in that midfield as well. That would protect that defense, because we've been leaking in goals in preseason, which is not looking good. But hopefully, that gets sorted out, especially with the high line that we play. But I'm just looking at it like this: if we do get Caicedo, I'm still not happy, to be honest with you, because what it means is that
He's right.
Let's get this clear, guys. I'm loving the fact that they're actually trying to get this guy. Love it. but it should have been the case in the first place. It shouldn't be a thing where you're waiting last minute when Chelsea scares you a little bit to get the player that you wanted. Now you think, okay, let's go get the player they want now and show the guys, show everyone that we actually got money. If we had that money in the first place, you should have got the player instead of making Liverpool fans stress out, instead of wasting Jurgen Klopp's time and the team's time and bargaining and just wasting everyone's time. Just get it sorted. So yes, I'm gonna be happy that we get him, but the owners are not off the hook. Let's not be one of those people. Let's not be one of those fans that are deluded just because we get one good news and then we forget about every single thing else that happened. No.
We're not United fans. We're not Manchester United fans, Harmony.
Yeah, I don't want to be my United fans. They're actually so deluded. Like they'll be so angry, and as soon as they sign the player, they forget about everything else, and then next season the same thing happens again. Then they're surprised, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. So yeah, for me personally, guys, I'll love it. I want the guy in. I would love him to be in the club, but at the same time, we still need to get these owners out because they don't deserve to manage this club. Because this club has brought so much joy to so many people, and what they're doing right now to this manager, to this team, is nothing but disrespectful. So that's where I stand with it. I would love Lavia, but I don't know. Let's just see how it goes.
One thing I will say is think of the timing. The timing is absolutely key. Every time FSG get negative PR on the internet or whatever, whether it be the play, whether it be social media, FSG out, trending, something always happens. Always happens. It's the same if it's something negative happens, if something positive happens, they then say we're close to signing someone really good. They can put a little negative something, and it'll be easier to put it out there. Timing is everything right now. Last night, FSG out and FSG out now were trending. UK, Ireland, I don't know what it was like in America, but it was trending over here. And the next day, all of a sudden, went for Caicedo. Sometimes am I thinking too much into it? But I've seen it so many times because obviously I'm writing every day about what's going on. Think every single day, you've got to realise what's going on. This has been happening for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Not just 1 year. This isn't new to me. Let's move on to the main man himself. 431 people, amazing numbers again tonight. Please smash a like and subscribe to our channel. Matty, maybe Carragher them into on overlap. I mean, yeah, if Carragher's finally turning, then even Paul Joyce turned. I think maybe they had to they had to have no chance but to maybe do something as Carragher opened their eyes. They thought Carragher on their side, didn't they? So there we go. Caicedo then, Dan. Caicedo.
So I have breaking news on that. So according to TalkSport, Liverpool are now the front runners to sign him. So right now it looks like if he is going to sign, we are now the favorites, and that just happened the past 4 or 5 minutes. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, I understand what Harmony says. Obviously, if we sign Caicedo, I'll be very happy. I'll probably be more happier than if we sign Lavia because I feel like Caicedo just solved so many problems and he has been the best one. I get what Harmony says when he says, like, if we were ambitious, we would sign both. We would sign both Kaisedo and Lavia, and I get that to a degree. My whole thing is the fact that all I care is that Liverpool get the players that you need to get, and if you don't get them, then that's a problem. And why you don't get them is only a situation. If we come out this summer and it's just Caicedo and Andre comes in January, I would be fine with that, but I would also be worried because we are going to need to rebuild the defense in the future, and that is something that's going to have to be done rather than sooner or later. But for the first third of the season, if we're going to roll with this team plus Caicedo, that's a great team. And I think we would, and if we're going to get Andre in January, which is what is most likely to happen, I think that's great. If we can get both Lavia and Caicedo and Andre, then you've done your whole midfield rebuild even when Thiago leaves next year. And you don't have to worry about anything like that as well. I don't think this is a coincidence. I know someone mentioned the PR thing as well. I understand why people think that, but for me, this doesn't make sense as PR because why would you do this much effort and let everyone know you're doing this just to say we're going to back out at the last minute? Because that's terrible.
The same reason why
terrible PR.
That's terrible PR. The same reason why we went to Bellingham for 3 years.
Yep.
But I think they legitimately wanted Bellingham.
I
they
think
generally want
that's
Bellingham.
apples and oranges, because at this point we would just be crying how inept and how broke we are to begin with. That whole Jude Apple that kept stringing us along. Other factors came into play. Supposedly, they wouldn't let him go because of Haaland, so it was going to be this year.
Yeah,
And obviously
and
we saw.
And I think there's a situation we're forgetting is the fact that Mbappe was going to go to Madrid and he didn't. And when Madrid did not spend all that money on Mbappe, they went out and got Tchouaméni and Bellingham as well.
Yeah.
And that's really what disrupted Liverpool's transfer plans. Now, I agree with you. I think there's an argument to say that Liverpool shot themselves in the foot because they were being passive rather than active in the transfer market. And I absolutely do think that is something that we condemn them with in many ways. Also, breaking news, apparently Moses Caicedo is holding talks with Jurgen Klopp tonight at 9 p.m. According to Indy Kyla, which I don't know how you guys rate him as a news source, but that was just something that just broke 2 minutes ago. So the news is running hot off the presses here on X.
He sells a good sizzler, mate. He sells a good sizzler. I know that much. He sells a good bucket meal. So
can I just add something as well? Obviously, I think it just got put up, but yeah, guys, let's just smash that like button. Close to 500 people watching this. That's spectacular. Thank you for tuning in. As we always say, guys, we wouldn't be here without you guys. So come on, just smash that like button. It doesn't cost you anything. Just press it. If you just take a second, the button right there, just press it and try and get us to 100 or 150 before obviously we wrap up with the show. So come on, guys, you can do this.
Even if you sneeze and accidentally press it, absolutely good with us. Jay, to answer your question, Dave Marigo, if we got Lavia and Kaisedo, what would you make FSG? Fuck FSG. I'm being serious.
I'm gonna tell John you said that, Damo. I'm gonna tell John you said that when I meet him next week for coffee. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell John, Mike Gordon, and
the thing is, you got to judge this like how has their non-investment affected the last 5 years and left us short, because we Klopp, in all seriousness, with a couple of moves each season, could have banked already his second, third, or fourth Premier League title, depending on how things broke out, or second, third, fourth Champions League title, depending on how things played out. So we've always been left short. And again, those are reasons due to Liverpool, the club itself, having to be self-sustaining and therefore having to pay for all the renovations, having to pay for the training grounds, having to pay this, that, and the other, instead of FSG putting in that money, unlike other clubs. So at the end of the day, it's still FSG out. Klopp, just like Gary Neville said, has shielded FSG so much throughout his entire tenure and continues to do so. And we haven't even touched on this. How much heat, not just FSG out, but how much heat was Klopp catching yesterday, as well as York or George, whatever however you pronounce it, York. I just call him Georgie. York catching heat. He's been here a month or 2 months. The root of the problem is FSG. So that's the only.
I have more breaking news.
Go on.
So according to Mel Reddy, Liverpool remain talks with Brighton over Moises Caicedo should a move to Chelsea not materialize. Financial terms and payment structure of a transfer have been discussed with Brighton, so Liverpool are discussing the terms. If LFC receive encouragement from the midfielder, they are ready to act. She still says Chelsea are seen as favorites, but as far as we've seen at this development, Caicedo is talking to Klopp at 9. Liverpool are discussing payment terms and structure, so they already have a bid essentially in the works, which indicates that Brighton may accept it if they submit it tonight, but they're still waiting on. There's still a bit of murkiness around this. But
basically, what Liverpool are waiting for a teasing pick, aren't they? They're waiting for a teasing pick.
For what? For what, Damo?
A teasing pick.
A TV pick?
Teasing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I imagine we'll know more after 9 o'clock British time, or I guess here in the States it'd be 4 o'clock p.m. where we're going to hear exactly what is going to happen. But I mean, the way it's moving so fast, the amount of momentum in this deal is that it looks like it's very likely it's going to happen.
Yeah, thank you.
Farouk, regarding your message,
to somewhere.
Yeah, to somewhere. I didn't say where. No one can pin me down. I didn't clarify where. He may go to Arsenal, for all I know, or City. He might go to Bayern. I don't know, because Bayern is still trying to get Kane, and that deal collapsed. Like, why? It's just been an insane day.
He says here, remember, we shall trust Klopp, not FSG. The rumour has it, actually, Farouk, that if you say that 3 times in the mirror, John Henry appears behind you.
He's a very nice man. Leave him alone.
I've not tried it myself. Jen has breaking news offered 700 bars and tub of Ben and Jerry for Caicedo.
Hey, listen,
you know what, Jen?
It works.
If it won't feel, we won't be in talks with him right now, unfortunately. But yeah, let's carry on with the Caicedo talk then. Obviously, we're expecting something to happen. We're now favourites gone to talk. I don't want to say their name because they talk crap anyway. Someone check if Mark Goldbridge is on live right now on Talk Sport, because if he's on live, then he made that up, hasn't he, just to get us excited. Anyway, we are expecting something to happen tonight, though, in terms of Moses Caicedo, according to Fabrizio Romano. I think they want the deal to be sorted tonight, the Brighton. I think that's what is wanting to happen. Yeah. Liverpool are planning a formal bid, according to Fabrizio Romano as well. But, Paul Joyce, Mr. Paul Joyce, called out FSG the other day, but today he has said there are funds in place, but he believes that the move that Liverpool have made on Caicedo is for due diligence. Basically saying we're doing it just to show, we did have a go at this.
Yeah, I hope that's not true. I really do hope that's not true, because not only would FSG be trending, I think the club stadium they'll probably stop building because people will be literally protesting and stopping workers from going in there to do some work. Honestly, because if that's the case, because I don't see this as a laughing matter for this for these owners to really waste time. You gotta understand something. We had a golden opportunity to win the Premier League. Not once, at least twice, or even 3 times. But the only reason why we didn't, because 1, he didn't get the funding or the backing that he needed. 2, we were probably 1 or 2 players away from just taking that new step, that step over City. And you got to understand something, guys. Why do you think Julian Ward walked away? Why do you think and what's the other guy's name before Julian Ward was there? Michael Edwards walked away.
Harry Potter.
You got to understand something. These guys here would literally the engine. Them and Klopp were the engine keeping this team running. We don't even have a medical team. We don't have doctors. How does that make any sense? We don't have doctors.
We do now, Harmony. We
do not anymore. Not anymore. We did. I don't think we have appointed anything yet. But
no, they brought the guy to retirement. So we do have a head of medicine now, but it's
a head of medicine.
We have all the team doctors.
It gives the Calpol out. It gives the Calpol out and the inhalers.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. So what you need to understand is our team is in shambles right now. We were so organized about 2-3 years ago. Now all of a sudden everything is falling apart, and now Schmeichel is starting to understand why these directors of sports left, because they can't take this anymore. You can't give someone a job, be like, okay, listen, I'm going to give you a job, but I'm only going to give you half of the money to complete it. When you know he needs all the money to complete the job. It makes no sense. You're just making people's lives harder every single time.
He's putting them on a rowboat, telling them to go to shore and tying one hand behind their back.
It makes no sense at all. It's just embarrassing. Klopp should be winning at least 2 or 3 Premier Leagues. At least. Because he's been that good. The team has been that good. We've been performing on the pitch. It's off the pitch is where we have the issues. It's off the pitch is where we are lacking. It's off the pitch where we are literally just looking at these owners like, look, come on. We just need a little bit of help. We don't want you to spend as much as City. We don't want you to spend as much as United. All we want is for you to back this manager and get him the 1 or 2 players that he needs to take us to the next level. And that is it. But these owners just can't do it. So I hope that what you just said, mate, I hope it's not true. I really do. Because if it is, then come on, guys. We got to get these guys out now because it's getting ridiculous. It's absolutely getting ridiculous.
Moose, there is new FA rules, so we may go into extra time slightly. Maybe it depends on how much stoppage time we get and how much time is wasted. We don't have any Newcastle fans in here, so there's not going to be much time wasted anyway. Rigo, Caicedo, right? Put yourself in Caicedo's shoes. Okay. Forget money. Money's not an issue. Liverpool can pay for it. Chelsea can pay. We know Liverpool can pay for it anyway, but this shoe's not so. Chelsea can pay for it. You got 1 door, and you got 2 doors. One's got Mauricio Pochettino there with Todd Bowley in the background chucking money on him like it making it rain. And he's got the likes of Reece James, captain. He's got Kepa looking at him. And he goes to the other door and looks at young Klopp. Young Klopp smoking a cigar. He's got his dressing gown on with his Champions League trophy, his Premier League trophy. You know, he's got Salah behind him, Van Dijk there, stood there, arms folded. Which door does he choose? Which door would you choose? Forget you being a Liverpool fan as well.
Well, as far as what door I would choose, that's a very tough one because, again, we've seen so many players lean towards the Chelsea side just due to their astronomical wages that they start these guys out at. And, again, coming from Ecuador, not from a rich family, and we've seen before he's kind of been taking advantage agent-wise in the past, so likely trying to do well on this current contract. But it depends. How much has Klopp brushed up on his Spanish to be able to communicate to me how important I would be into the club? As a player and in the position he's in, there's no dispute he would fall right into the starting lineup, be leaned on heavily, and be counted on to perform week in, week out. And with the kind of the new incomings that we've had, we do have a good Spanish contingent as well to make him feel comfortable. He has McAllister there, who he's played with for a couple of seasons already. I think that transition would probably facilitate the move for him a little bit easier. He has world-class keeper that'll know that I'll stop a shot for him in case someone gets by him. So I'd lean towards Liverpool myself. But again, I am a Liverpool fan and would do so regardless.
The McAllister one is a very, very interesting shout because the link up they made at Brighton alone should be enough to maybe even sway Caicedo to Liverpool. I think if money wasn't an object, I do think Liverpool are no offense to Chelsea, but they're the sexiest. They're the sexiest to look at, and they'll be chosen every time for me. I do want to address something though in terms of the Caicedo and Liverpool coming up. 4 weeks ago, I think Chris Bascombe, who is close to the club, tweeted out that he put out a story saying that the boat had sailed for Liverpool regarding Caicedo and the fact that it pretty much is a done deal at Chelsea and Liverpool have pulled out away from it because they feel like the boat has sailed. I put a tweet out there saying I think that's gaslighting because the only time the boat has sailed is if the deal is done. I've seen Willian travel on an airplane to the airport to get to Tottenham and be hijacked by Chelsea at the airport. That deal was way closer to what Caicedo was at Chelsea. 4 weeks later, we're still in the same situation where Chelsea hadn't agreed a deal. Caicedo hadn't gone from Brighton, and now Liverpool put their mouth in, put their money, put their hand in to have a deal at this. I got called out by a guy, and I ended up blocking him on Twitter. It's called Anfield Analytics. I don't know if you guys know him, but he said he can't say gaslighting and stuff like that. It's 100% true. Anyway, I think he tweeted our LFC transfer room Twitter saying, "Get your boy Demos unblock me and apologise," because he'd seen something like George something that said that is close to joining Chelsea, and I said I didn't say he wasn't going to join Chelsea. I basically said the boat has not sailed. And the sheer fact that Liverpool now think they can go get him tells you exactly what that was about. This is what I'm saying about the journalists close to the club. Don't believe it. You're best off believing an Ornstein or a Romano because they've got no agendas. They've got no narratives. They don't have to look after the club. So, you like to Joyce, you like to Pierce, you like to Bascombe. Don't believe everything they say. Gaslighting is a thing, and if you are gaslighted that easy, I feel sorry for people that are gaslighted that easy because, to me, if they've got like a partner or something, they're going out cheating on them, and they're coming back 6 times in a row. I slapped up my mates for six nights in a row, and they believe in it. If you can get gaslighted that easily by a journalist, then you're going to get gaslighted easily in real life, I'm afraid. Dan, are we going to get a Here We Go tonight? Do you think it's close?
Well, from the way the news is going right now, it looks like it's probably just going to come down to this talk that Kaiser is going to have with Jurgen and just kind of see where it's at. I know you talked to Riga, about would you choose Chelsea or Liverpool. I think right now it just depends on what the conversation he has with Jurgen Klopp. Obviously, I feel like Jurgen Klopp could get any player in the world to come play for him. And then it just comes down to terms and agreements and fees, all that stuff we've been talking about as well. I do think we could get a here we go tonight, if not a official bid accepted. We could get a situation where pre-contract things have been agreed to. Now it's time for the final bid. And again, the way that they're reporting it, all the people that are not in the local Liverpool circuit, but are in the mainstream, are saying that they're already discussing payment terms and structure, which tells me it's probably going to be accepted. Whatever the bid is probably going to be, that it will be accepted as well. Now, I know we're probably going to get into this for the last bit of the stream. My one worry is that we're going to sign Moises Caicedo, and we're not going to sign anybody else for the rest of the window, which I could see happening. Yep. I could see that happening. And I'm not saying this is like a criticism, because I could see the same thing happen with Lavia. I think with Caicedo, it's, not forgivable, but I can understand it to some degree. But I do think that is a situation right now that could happen, where we sign Moises Caicedo and we don't make another signing until January.
But I'd be okay with that, quite honestly. In that event, that's where I think perhaps if we get Caicedo,
what you say?
If we get Caicedo through the door, right, and we
and that's it. You have to do that
until January.
Until January. And then bring Andre in January. We can
play with fire there, mate. Play with fire there, mate.
Either in first or within grasp of first place up until January. That's how much I value the contribution that Moises Caicedo would add to the team.
I think he's the signing. He's the one I've been wanting for a while, just because he covers so many positions as well. Alone,
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think someone said earlier. I think the Helios said earlier. Do you see him as a top 5 CDM in the league? Yes, and Lavia top 10.
And I'll add something else to that I'll probably catch flack on the chat on the stream here. If we're sticking with the 3 in the back, right, and first couple of matches we see Andy's overrunning too much, not being positionally disciplined enough. My cousin Joe Gomez as left center back in the back 3 with Joe, Virgil, and Konate.
Oh, that's
yeah, no, I mean you can make that work. It's honestly just an issue of shape. Like I agree with you, Rigo. The issue really comes down to if you're playing Joe Gomez at left center back, even though I think it would work, we would be so narrow. It would be, you're essentially looking at like 13-14 Liverpool, where we pretty much played. We didn't go down the wings. We were just within like the penalty box, just playing in this long straight line, and we would just be direct as crazy. Listen, I agree with you, Rigo. I think a more likely scenario is that we see someone like Kwanzaa come in for a few games, like a cup game or a Europa League game, because I think you can put Kwanzaa there if you have a Caicedo. If the rest of your team is starters and you're not playing a Harvey Elliott and you're not playing a Ben Doak, you can throw Kwanzaa in there and you can probably beat, I would say, 18 out of the 20 teams in the Premier League. You might struggle at City, but you could carry Kwanzaa for a few games if you're not going to sign a center back.
The thought of that.
Go ahead. Sorry, Damo. Go ahead.
Just the thought of Gomez being at left centre back is making me want to Google TV insurance right now. Because I don't think I can deal with that for a season.
Come on, man. Gomez, I think he's another one that catches a little bit too much. I don't know how many replacement level homegrown center backs are available that'll will be able to have him take his spot. That's my thing with him.
Nah, that makes a lot of sense, especially when it comes to the whole homegrown situation. We're already in the thin line when it comes to that, because we need to get some homegrown players in. But I wouldn't mind Joe Gomez playing there. I wouldn't mind it. If it's just temporary until January and we bring in an Anasio or something, then I wouldn't mind it. But if it's going to be for the whole season, it's going to be a bit tricky because
no.
Yeah, because his fitness and his form is not that great. It has not been that great since 2019, 2018. So you can't like. I don't
No,
know.
I'm not saying as a
I don't know.
permanent solution, not at all.
Yeah.
And again, I said I'd be okay with only Caicedo in this window, and then in January going out and bringing someone else. I'm just saying instead of Andy in certain matches, I think we can play Gomez at that left center back if we're keeping with this current shape. I think to be quite honest, if we bring in Moises, why shouldn't we revert back to our 4-3-3? Like at that point, instead of dragging Trent over and leaving all this space that the back three have to cover, and there's going to be holes no matter what. If our press doesn't get there, you just got to lob it over. There's going to be real estate for an attacking player from the other team to run into. So we're going to leave ourselves open plenty of times, unfortunately, with the current setup as is, unless we're absolutely dominant on the ball and pinching every single ball before the team can get through our first phase of press.
Here's something we haven't mentioned yet. Because Caicedo can do this, you could play Caicedo right back and put Trent in the midfield. You could swap them. Like you could do the inverted thing.
Just have him drop and then have a McAllister, a Thiago be part of that double pivot.
So and I think that's what's probably going to happen is that this push for Caicedo, if it gets over the line, but it looks like it is moving in that direction by every news break, is that it could be a situation where Caicedo comes in, plays defensive midfield, but you see a situation in the back three where Caicedo drops and Trent moves into midfield, and you have a back three of something like Virgil, Konate, and Caicedo, where it's more like that, or rather be Caicedo, Virgil, or however you want to see it, but Caicedo would be the one to drop into the right position and then allow Trent to move into the midfield. Because Caicedo did that with De Zerbi and with Graham Potter, because this system we're playing is pretty much exactly how Brighton and Hove Albion under Graham Potter and De Zerbi played. It's exactly the same thing. He wouldn't need a lot of time to adjust to what they want to do.
So Enzo Fernandez, thoughts on Kaisedo, Enzo and Lavia midfield. You need to turn your PS4 off, mate. Whilst we've got 432 people live in chat, please make sure you do smash a like and hit subscribe. We're live every single night at 7:30. We are live if a transfer happens. We've got a podcast coming out every Friday. We do little videos every now and then as well. The more likes we get, the more subscribers we get, the more shares we get, the better and more content you get. Everything goes back to you guys. Jen and Matty have been super chatting to us for a while now, and people like those that just keep me personally and keep these boys just going and make me do what's the best for you guys. We want to give you the best content as we can. Going on to the last 10-15 minutes, I might play a little bit of extra time. We'll see. We've been asked for an encore, so we may go a little bit longer than an hour. Regarding Caicedo, then Dan, go on.
So another update from already. So Caicedo had already cleared out his locker. He's been waiting for the move. So he's been in London for the past he's been in London for the past 5 days waiting for the move to materialize. And I'm pretty sure this is why Liverpool put the bid in, because Chelsea never came back in for a bid. They moved on and they just signed Adams. So there is a situation now where he's literally in London and could fly out if they agree to something today.
Damn. That was a bit hectic.
I think Caicedo got his locker done like back in January when he was that close to. I mean,
well, yeah. So he did that too.
Yeah.
So, but he cleared it out 5 days ago. So however this move goes, I know I'm getting us all hyped up and teasing us, and it may end in like disappointment and sadness, and there's a joke there somewhere that I'm not going to say, but either way, it looks like that. However this deal is going to go, it's going to go down to the wire in the next. Now we're close to 9 o'clock UK time, 4 o'clock here. So we're probably going to learn within the next, I would say, 45 minutes to hour what's going to happen.
Yeah, Dan.
And that gives us a time limit, doesn't it? Really. Go on, Abby.
Sorry, well, just know if this transfer doesn't go through, I'm coming after you because you're the one that's giving us all this good news and all this updates. So I'm not even looking at my phone.
There's no good news yet.
You're the one that's giving me all the updates. So I'm just saying, if it doesn't happen, we're all coming for you.
Harvey, I'm sorry. Listen, when I come to England, I will buy you pints. I will buy you dinner. I will take you out. I will.
Can you buy a Caicedo?
I will go buy Caicedo. I will buy a Caicedo jersey, regardless of what. If it's a Brighton, Chelsea, Liverpool one, I will give you a Caicedo jersey. That's it. I'm so sorry.
I'll take that.
Craig, after 9 p.m. tonight, we will all be back on FSG app. No, fuck FSG. We're on FSG app now. Before 9 o'clock, after 9 o'clock, tomorrow 9 o'clock, the weekend 9 o'clock. Too fucking late. Bye. FSG.
Can I say something? I feel like
Go on, mate.
Just add this quick quote. Someone spoke about Thiago not too long ago. It just kind of brought this idea in my head. If we get Caicedo in there, it's gonna unlock Thiago in a whole way, in a different way that we have not seen it. Because it's going to take away so much of his defensive responsibilities, and it's going to give him the freedom to just roam around and just control the game. So this signing here can really unlock Thiago, and we might see like a Thiago that we've seen in Bayern Munich when they won the Champions League, because that Thiago was spectacular. So yeah, so that's another thing.
People keep like this is where I stand on Thiago, and I don't know if you'd like, please throw in your opinion on in the comments there. We should be extending Thiago for one more year. With our current setup, the skill set that he has, it's not as if him losing a step is going to have a dramatic effect on him. Last season, he was our best midfielder. Currently, he's still our best midfielder on the team. And if wages aren't, if he can possibly take a little drop down in wages as well, due to the not having as many games or minutes to have to play for us, I think it would make sense to extend him one more year instead of letting him run out his contract. But
I think there's an argument for that, but I just think Thiago wants to go back to Barcelona. Like, that's my biggest feeling. Like, Barcelona are selling their players. Like, Kessie just went to, Saudi Arabia. They've been selling their youth players. They've been clearing up a lot of space. I think Thiago just wants to go back and play for Xavi. Like, I get your argument, Rigo, and I would wholly support it. I just don't know if Thiago would want to stay another year. And it's nothing against, like, Liverpool, our team, or Klopp. I feel like he's loved it. He's enjoyed his time here. And I feel like Thiago will leave Liverpool sad that he was not fit more, because I feel like in his mind, if he was fit more, we would have won another league or another Champions League than what we ended up winning. And I think it'll be one of those situations where I'm trying to think of a player like that, where we had an older player that was really, really good, but just couldn't stay fit. Yari Littman. It'd be like having Yari Littman in the 90s, where, we just got him like 1 or 2 years too late. Or even Nicolas Anelka. Morientes, yeah, that's also one. Morientes was way over his peak at that point as well. But I could definitely see him signing of the year, but I just think he's going to go to Barcelona next year on a free.
So I don't know if we're all optimistic about Caicedo. I'm just going to give you two scenarios here about the Caicedo thing. I said it earlier about the FSG out thing last night, and I think timing is everything. I put a tweet out earlier. I think it's either two things right now. The Caicedo news has come about because finally fan pressure. Fan pressure's either worked or they're lying. How many? If they were lying and this was just a like Paul Joyce says, due diligence. Sorry, is that gaslighting at its highest? And not only that, is that taking the absolute piss out of the fans?
Yeah, 100%, 110%. Because the fans, without the fans, these guys are not getting money in their pockets. Without the fans, they're not getting the same profits that you're seeing in the club right now. These fans are the only thing keeping this club afloat. Honestly, we are. And for you to disrespect us like that, I just feel like it is something that you can't be forgiven for, and you have to leave. And that's why I say it. I feel like if that's the situation that what Paul Joyce is saying is true, I feel like we have to start protesting. We have to start really bringing out banners, just like Arsenal did. And you see the effect now. The Cronkies are all of a sudden they're starting to spend money. They're starting to back their manager because they put in that groundwork early. They made sure they made their voice heard. They got rid of their best manager. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because they couldn't take it no more. And that's what Liverpool fans need to do. And I feel like if Klopp comes out and says, there was a report saying that Klopp was saying he was considering leaving the end of this season if they don't sort out the transfer market situation. If that's the truth, that should be another warning to them to make them understand, look, we need to buck up our ideas. We either sell this club or we actually run it the way it's meant to be run and back this manager, because he's not here for that much longer. About 2 more seasons we have Klopp, and we need to capitalize on that. We need to make sure we get the most out of those two full seasons that we're going to get with him. And if we don't, then I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know. I feel like we'll be in so much trouble. I can't see any other manager that's going to come in with these limited resources, with these problems, with these constant hiccups with the transfers, that's going to do what he did. Honestly, I don't see it.
I'd love to hear the phone call now between John Henry and Schmack or Klopp or something like that, and it's going to go something like John's going to be like, what do you mean? Brighton have accepted the bid. What do you mean? I was only joking. What do you mean? I thought Chelsea were going to get in, and it was just a joke. When you press, I don't know, you press something by accident. That's what I feel like we've done right now with this. And do they realise that they do have to put a bid in for Caicedo, or is it just a smokescreen? Is it just a we'll put these fans off, we'll distract them for a little bit, because that's the way FSG roll, that's the way I have rolled. So to even the sheer fact that's even an option tells you exactly about this ownership. It's even an option, right? That even crosses my mind, crosses our mind. I don't know about Rigo and Dan, but it crosses our minds that could actually be a thing. The reason, the sheer fact that is a thing and that is a reason in our heads is down to the ownership. And because we've seen it before, we've seen it the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. This isn't new, and it's hard to get excited, but we can't help but getting excited. I mean, this morning when I woke up to the news, and Dan and Rigo woke up a bit later than us. They probably woke up to the Paul Joyce one, where it's just due diligence rather than the actual bids coming through.
Actually, I woke up to the Telegraph one, so it wasn't Joyce. It was the other one where he said that Liverpool had already had started discussions with Brighton over a deal, and then I read the Joyce one where it said when Liverpool felt that saw this deal hadn't moved, they were like, well, we might as well just see if we can do it. Which hey, listen, if it takes us yelling at them to get something done, and they finally do it, who cares? It's like wives and husbands all over the world. When you're yelling at your partner to do something and they finally get up and do it, you're like, thank you, thank God, you're finally doing something. I mean, if it works, it works. Do what you can to get the moves happen.
Regarding this monkey chips, about FSG don't care about protests, booing, banners. They do care about bad rep and bad look on themselves, because, like I said about the timing thing, there's no way this Caicedo stuff comes around like that after FSG out trends. It's too coincidental for my liking. Caicedo, is it going to get done tonight? Is it going to get done tomorrow? Whether it's be Liverpool or Chelsea. Lavia, is it going to be Liverpool or Chelsea? We do not know yet. It's up in the air. I mean, Romano's saying one thing where Liverpool could be getting Caicedo, but then Paul Joyce, who is close to the club, saying we're not. Who do you believe? Me personally, I believe Romano more this transfer window, especially because I've said, that those that are close to the club gaslight. After tonight's stream, make sure you check out James's video on FSG. Yes, James did a 10-minute video on FSG and why he thinks they're going to stay for another 10 years. If you don't want to watch it, please listen to it. You might have to cover your eyes. I want to watch it, but I'm going to cover my eyes watching it. I don't want to really listen to what it is brilliant, James. Brilliant video it will be, but I don't want to hear him say they're going to stay for 10 years and give reasons why they're staying for 10 years, if I'm honest, because I don't want to hear it. But please do watch it if you can. We've got our podcast out tomorrow. Me and Rigo, we did a podcast with a tactics writer for The Athletic, which is coming out tomorrow. We speak about formations, we speak about Trent's role, we speak about Andy Robertson being shit at his new role, we speak about the front line, we speak about our midfield and how important a CDM is, despite many arguments in our group chat about CDM, about Curtis Jones playing CDM, about Trent playing CDM, when they are not CDM. You will see that tomorrow in our podcast tomorrow with him from Athletic. I've been Damon. This has been LSE Transfer Room. We will be live tonight, by the way, if there is, and here we go. So keep tuned. Keep your notification bells on. Put them on right now. Smash that notification bell on now, because we will be live as soon as we find out we're live. Please smash that like. We had over 400, nearly 500 people in here tonight. Absolutely amazing people. We love you all. We love this community. We want to do the best for you, like I said before. Please subscribe to our channel. It's been Rigo, Harmony, and Dan, and myself, Damon. Everyone have a great evening and a great weekend. Thank you.